Hey there, this will be the last videos of this series. So if you're going all the way up to level 99, this might be the best video for you. So in the last one I beat Windhill to get the War Master. So from there you should be pretty strong, and what I would recommend is you do all your character's story. This will unlock some of the side quests, which gives pretty good items, and since I'm using some of those items for this video, this is what I would recommend you do. But since you're pretty strong, I won't show you how to beat every boss. In fact, you could probably one-shot all of them like we did in the previous two bosses. But yeah, if you're going for a perfect playthrough, what I suggest you should be doing is take a look at the missable in Octopath Traveler, so this guide right here. So if you don't want to miss on anything, be sure to check this. And if you're going for your achievements like strategist, and the one where you grab all chests and hidden items, then check the perfect game plus resource guide. So this will include a spreadsheet, and you'll be able to check mark everything you get, so you know exactly what you're missing. So yeah, and you'll even find some information to complete all your side quests. So yeah, I definitely recommend this. But if you're now in the end game and all is left for you is to beat Galdera, then maybe you would want to level up all your characters to level 99. And yeah, let me show you what I use on my party. So this is an old playthrough I started a long time ago, and I never finished it. So, but I was all set up for this grind, and as you can see, I already did it with these 4 characters, and there was these 4. I still needed to go with them. So let me show what I use with my current party. First with the support skill. So basically with the first 3 characters I use the exact same support skill. So SP Saver, Elemental Edge, Boost Start and BP Eater. So the first one to last longer with SP, and the other 3 just to do a lot more damage. And basically what you'll want to do in this part is first of all, the best place to farm EXP in this game is in the Forest of Purgation. So the enemies in there are the ones that give the most EXP on average, and yeah. And what you'll want to do against those is one-shot them. So yeah, with that you should have and good equipment, you should have all it takes to do the job. So yeah, and with Anit, obviously those support skills are pretty good. So more EXP, more job point and more money. And as for percipients, you might have other consideration, but I think this is just fine. Even on higher level, you can still, even though it has low chance of happening, you can still get surprised by your enemy. So this is what I like on my side. And so let me show the equipment. First starting with Anit. So again, more EXP, more job point. So those 2 accessories, you'll have access to them if you finish Olberic and Ophelia's story. This will, by completing those 2 stories, you'll have access to side quests, which will give you those 2 accessories. And other than that, with her, I just give her whatever to give her some defense. Doesn't matter really much because we won't use Hanit that much in battle. If she goes first, she will probably use defend or just a normal attack just to skip her turn. Now the double tomahawk, you might want to use that. These are for the cases when I want to capture a chubby Kate. So this is a nice weapon to break them, but other than that, mostly anything will do good on her. Yeah. And now let's see what the other characters is using. So Therion using the sorcerer job. So just gave him the battles tested staff. So obviously for elemental attack damage. And if you don't have enough attack power, elemental attack power, just replace either the Hypno Crown or Robe of Flame for the equipment that raise your elemental attacks. So for instance, Adamantine Hat and Sorcerer's Robe. So depending on your level, those might be good. But obviously, at the level I'm now, Hypno Crown and Robe of Flame will be even better, because there's just no point at overkilling my enemies. So more SP will be better in this case. And now look at the Viper Dagger. It gives speed, and I gave him Sprightly Necklace as well for even more speed. So in this party, Therion is my best character, and this is why I want him to be the most likely character to act first in battle, so he one-shot the enemy, and I'm not wasting time. For instance, if Anit goes first in battle, that's not good, because this is just wasting time, because she cannot one-shot enemies. But yeah, there are ways to increase your chance for Therion to go first, and this is what I'm using. And there's no point at selecting other weapon with speed, because on the first turn the main weapon for Therion is dagger, so you'll only get the speed from the dagger on your first turn. And if you want for instance, if you want the bonus from other weapon, you'll need to change the weapon. But yeah, for speed, it's a bonus that apply for your next turn. So yeah, only your main weapon will be relevant here. And now, just remember, if you're unfamiliar with the game, if you're quite new, you don't have to select the staff to output your elemental damage. Even if you still have your Viper Dagger selected for the turn, when casting your spell, the game will automatically use the weapon with the highest elemental attack damage on it. So it will use the battles tested staff to output damage, so no problem here. And now with Cyrus, Cyrus can also one-shot pretty easy the enemies in there, and so this is why I like giving him speed. So this is why I select the knowledge staff here, and in addition to that, one sprightly necklace. Now the Scholar deals a bit less damage than the Sorcerer, so this is why I need Adamantine Hat and Elemental Augmenter on him. But obviously, if you want to change some equipment there, just know that either Elemental Attack or Max SP is probably what's best on him. Now with Olberic, I use the Merchant job on him. So yeah, I equipped him the Tradewind Spear in combination with the Primeval Bow of Storm. So both items increase wind damage, and this will be pretty good with the Merchant job. And also raising Elemental Attack, and yeah, with those two. And you could probably be able to one-shot all the enemies if you were to equip Elemental Augmenters. I have two that are unused right now, but on my side I find the Ellering Ribbon to be even better, so I don't care too much about Olberic. This is one reason I don't give him speed, because the enemies that are weak to wind, I will one-shot them, but the other one, I'm not likely to one-shot them. So yeah, but that's what I'm using. And there are other ways to set up your party so you can one-shot enemies. So for instance, this might seem strange that with Olberic I use elemental damage, even though he's kind of a warrior. So some of you might think going physical with him would be better, and you might have some consideration for that. But if you do, what you want to change is instead of elemental edge, you replace that with physical prowess. So this is the equivalent, but this one will be for physical damage instead. And now, depending what you want to do, Fortitude in this case could be good. And do note that Fortitude works only with physical damage, so it doesn't work with spell, but this is extremely powerful. But the downside of this, you'll have to have your character at 1 HP. Or higher, but 1 HP is the best. But when you're leveling up, it refills your HP, so Fortitude is kind of annoying because every time you level up you need to get your character back at 1 HP. But yeah, this is something you need to consider. And for going physical instead of magical, you need to find another way to refill his SP. So if you look at my setup, Tyrion can steal SP since he's the thief. Cyrus can do the same because I gave him the thief job, and Olberic with the merchant, he has access to rest ability, which will refill his SP as well. So yeah, and Annette, you could probably just put either apothecary or cleric job. She's kind of a support character, so with that she can heal your party member in between fight. So yeah, and as for my other party that I used, now Primrose had a similar setup than Tyrion. So she was using the sorcerer job, and the main difference is she didn't have access to steal SP. So this was a little bit annoying to refill SP, but I gave the in this party I gave the thief job to Alfyn, which was my support character in this party. So he was the one handling all the perks to EXP, job point, money, and everything that Anit has. It was on Alfyn in this party, but I gave him the thief job, so he had more utility by stealing SP and sharing it with Primrose. And I do think that Primrose should always be separate from Therion, so each on their own party, because they are the characters with the most speed. So this is why I figured that these should be the two characters handling the sorcerer job. Now, as for Tressa, I was using the scholar job, so she had a similar function to Cyrus. The only difference is when I wanted to replenish her SP, I used the rest ability from her main job instead of steal SP. And I gave Ophelia the merchant class, so she was she had a similar build than Ulbrick, but she was even better than Ulbrick because she has more elemental attack damage. And the way I set up this group, Ophelia was able to one-shot everything. And this is mainly because in my current party, Ulbrick is handling the 2 alluring ribbon, whereas in my other party I gave one to Ophelia and one to Primrose. And the main reason for that is you have to know that Primrose is your character with the most speed in the game. And if I gave her all the sprightly necklace like I did with Therion, she would act first too often. What I mean by that is Alfyn still have a job to refill Primrose SP, and if she has too much speed, Alfyn don't act first enough to do his job of refilling Primrose SP. So I split one sprightly necklace on Primrose and I gave one on Alfyn too. So yeah, but basically the two parties are mostly the same, but just with a few tweaks. So Primrose, you could exchange Primrose for Therion, you could exchange Tressa for Cyrus, Ophelia for Ulbrick, Alfyn for Hanit, and because I use them in similar fashion. So you could interchange some other characters. I'm sure you can make it work. For instance, if you switch Ulbrick with Anit, it doesn't matter, it will go fine as well. So yeah, that's a lot of information. And also for those who experimented with Bewildering Grace, so this is a dancer skill which if you cast it, there are chances you get EXP and job point multiplier. But if you've played this game enough, or you've seen other information, you might already know that it's not worth using. So on average, it takes more time casting it than the reward it can give you. So just don't bother with it and just kill your enemy fast, and this is what I would recommend. So yeah, I'm ready to go. So let's just remove the Forbidden Bow and Alluring Ribbon for a second, and just get evasive maneuvers. And now going to how it's called? I said it earlier. This is the Forbidden Forest. No, anyway. From Noble Court you go north, and from there it will be to your left. It's the Forest of Purgation. It came back to me. So now in there, I just re-equip Forbidden Bow. So for increased encounter rate, and Alluring Ribbon. And now don't forget to remove evasive maneuvers and Percipience. So yeah. And let me just do a few battles so you have a general feel of how it's doing.
Don't start things you can't finish.
And with Therion, with all the speed that I gave to Therion, he should be the most likely character to act first. So, but this doesn't always happen, like you can see. So, and with Anit, normally I just skip her turn, but
Ignis Arctic.
But yeah, doesn't matter too much. And this encounter is the only one that you won't one-shot them because of the big guy, but it doesn't matter too much. All the other ones you should be able to one-shot them. And notice on this battle, enemies are weak to fire and lightning. So what I usually do against them is fire. So it breaks at least one enemy, and it, as you can see, the bonus at the end of battle for EXP, this is for breaking enemies. But no matter how many enemies you break, it doesn't change the bonus. If there's at least one enemy broken, this gives the full bonus. So don't care breaking all the enemies, just break one and that's all.
Let us fight with honor.
And that's that.
So yeah, as you can see, this can go pretty fast. Now this is the encounter you don't want to see, but doesn't matter too much.
Ignis Arctic.
This is the encounter you'll see the less often. That's a somewhat rare encounter.
It's a good day for battle.
But everything else you should one-shot them. That's like that.
Don't start things.
And as you can see, my SP on Therion is getting lower. So whenever you want to get back to full SP, then all you have to do is steal SP. But checking at the turn order where the enemies is next, this time I want to kill enemies. But whenever I see that Cyrus is next in line, this is usually a good time to refill SP. It doesn't really matter much, but this is just something you can do to earn your money bonus at the end. Because if enemies hit you, you don't have the 10% bonus. So yeah, that's about it. And now this encounter, don't try to break it with 5 shield. Just do that. You kill them as fast as possible, and that's good like that. It's better to kill fast than wasting time just to break the enemy. The bonus is just 10%, so it doesn't matter too much. So like this one, I don't care if Cyrus don't break them. You go as fast as possible.
Thus ends your lesson.
So yeah, that's about it. So I wish you the best, and good luck with that. And I hope you can make it to 99. So yeah, bye.